Will surging unemployment rates crash home sales? This video is going to be answering the question, is there a direct correlation between home sales and the unemployment rate? Let's get into it. I'm doing my part. How's it going, everybody? It's Ryan, and today, like I said in the intro, we're going to be seeing if there is a direct correlation between the unemployment rate and home sales. The preconceived notion is if unemployment goes up, excuse me, that don't worry, I'm not sick, I'm not dying, it's just cough. If unemployment goes up, do home sales go down? Because if there's a high unemployment, no one has money, how are they going to afford buying a home? So we're going to be talking about that exactly from the mouths of experts, people who their livelihood is studying U.S. residential real estate. So I have my iPad here, so I can get all the quotes exactly how they are. So they'll go from their mouths to your ears. 10 million Americans lost their jobs over the last 2 weeks, and I think as of now, April 13th, I believe we're at 16 million. I believe maybe the numbers might be changed by the time this video comes out, but it really is a devastating time. I've heard so many borderline depressing statistics about where we are right now because of the unemployment rate, but I've also heard some sobering statistics. So, my crystal ball is just as good as your crystal ball with where we're heading and where we'll ultimately be by like the fourth quarter of this year. Because the health crisis brought the economy to a screeching halt, many are feeling a personal financial crisis. The U.S. government is trying to find ways to assist those who have lost their jobs and their companies which were forced to close. So one of the main concerns is how badly will the U.S. economy be damaged if people just can't buy homes? There is a new concern in whether the high number of unemployed Americans will cause the residential real estate market to crash, putting a greater strain on the economy and leading to even more job losses. So now to one of the major questions. How has the unemployment rate affected home sales in the past? It's logical to think that there would be a direct correlation between the unemployment rate and home sales. As the unemployment rate goes up, it's presumed that the home sales would go down, and also vice versa. If the unemployment rate goes down, people are making good money, they're living well, the home sales would go up. However, research reviewing the last 30 years does not show a direct relationship. So let me say it one more time. Research reviewing the last 30 years does not show that direct relationship between unemployment rate and home sales. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to pull up a graph. So while I'm speaking, you can see what I'm seeing, and I'm not going to put it up here. I'm going to blow it up the whole screen so everyone can really see what I'm talking about. So let's pull up the graph, and then we'll work through it and dissect the message it's conveying. So this graph is the unemployment rates and home sales do not have a direct relationship graph. So if we're taking a look here, the blue and gray bars, they represent the home sales, while the yellow line that's kind of going across the graph there is the unemployment rate. So let's take a look at the numbers 1 through 4. If you see the numbers 1, 2, and 3 are red, and then you see the 4 on the far right in green. So if we look at number 1, the unemployment rate was rising between 1992 and 1993, but even though the unemployment rate was going up, home sales still increased, albeit a little bit, but they still went up. Number 2, the unemployment rate was rising between 2001 2003, and the home sales increased as well. Look at that. The unemployment rate went down, and the existing home sales went up, of course. So number 3, the unemployment rate was rising between 2007 and 2010, and the home sales significantly decreased because everybody and their mama were getting loans like nobody's business. And then again, number 4, the unemployment rate was falling between 2015 and 2019, and home sales remained relatively flat. They kind of stayed the same. But if we're looking at this graph here, you can see there's really no direct correlation between these two things, home sales and the unemployment rate. That was a very interesting graph, especially, if because most people think that there would be a direct correlation. It almost sounds logical. Unemployment goes up. Obviously, the home sales are going to go down, but these people that study U.S. residential real estate for a living, they went back 30 years, and we saw right there from the graph that there's really no direct 100% correlation between those two things. So the housing market will have some difficulties, but with the help that's being given to those who have lost their jobs, and the fact that we're looking at a quick recovery of the economy after we address the health problem, the housing market should be fine in the long term. I'm certainly someone who believes in looking at the past. You want to look at history, you want to do your research, because if you don't learn from history, you're damned to repeat it again in the future. So luckily, we always like to look at the past and see what happened, so we can be much better equipped and adjust along the way, especially with this thing that just happened, COVID-19, which is something nobody could have seen coming in a million years. But here we are, and we're doing our best to adapt. So thank you again, everybody who subscribed, everybody who watches my videos, whether you're watching it on Facebook, on YouTube, or Instagram. I thank you very much. It's always my job to bring you as much information as possible. So whether you contact me to help you buy or sell your home, or if you want to at least look at my videos to gain that much more knowledge on what's happening, you can present this information to whoever you're working with and kind of hold them to a higher standard, So as always, everybody, make sure you work with a realtor with the heart of a teacher, not necessarily the heart of a business person. So stay safe, everybody. Absolutely stay safe. Use your hand sanitizer and your face masks. 6 feet distance away from people, and we'll be good. Every second that passes, we're that much more closer to returning back to a world where, to a world that we recognize. Yeah. See you next time, everybody.